Hey guys, how are you? I'm back here at Fort Washington on one side and Piscataway at the other side. Both of these parks are amazing and they have a lot of history involved in them. If you want to come here to Piscataway, which is where I'm at now, I'm at the boardwalk, and as you can see, it's literally a boardwalk. Here you can find lots of butterflies and lots of dragonflies, birds, eagles, the whole 9 yards when it comes to wildlife. It's just beautiful to look at, and it's right on the water. So we're coming up on a spot, you'll be able to see it, where you can see the water, and I'll show you. Oh, a butterfly just flew right by my face. But there you go. Such a beautiful view. And there's a butterfly in there. I don't know if you can see him, but he's in there. I'll show you if I can get him in there. Hang on. There. See him right there. Oh, he's kind of blurry. I can't get at the color, but he's right there in the center. He's so pretty. Anyway, he was yellow and black. It wasn't zooming in and focusing for me because of the coloring of the leaves in front of it. But look at this view. How can you not love that? I mean, it's gorgeous. Boardwalk's a little bit worn down, but it's still doable. Anyway, I've got lots of pictures of both of them, so I'm gonna put them in some videos, take a look at them and see what you like. And as far as Fort Washington goes, that's absolutely so cool to go through. I mean, lots of underground things to look at. That was from, you know, the wartime and everything, and it's a lot. So check it out, and I will see you back here with the rest of the video. Okay guys, so there's a few things to know before you go. This was a little bit difficult to figure out which was which from the GPS standpoint. So the very first turn is going to take you to the boardwalk. That's where you're seeing the butterflies and stuff like that in bulk. Here you'll also be able to see, if you're lucky, a beaver, beaver's dam. You'll be able to locate some birds, maybe even a bald eagle. You'll see some dragonflies, some snakes in the water, and some turtles. Now, when you get back in your car after you're done walking the boardwalk and looking at that beautiful view, you'll go back up to the next Piscataway sign that takes you to the visitor center. And in the visitor center, you'll be able to get like a little tiny bag of snack chips, a Gatorade or a water bottle, some souvenirs, and then there is also some historical buildings there that were old barns and cabins and stuff. As long as you go and you walk the little path, you'll also be able to see some farm animals. There's also a beautiful pier that's set up for fishing here, so if you like to fish, it's the perfect spot to go to. If you like to hike, there's several hiking trails here as well. All of it overlooks the Potomac, and Piscataway is just absolutely beautiful. So while you're looking and you're walking through, just keep in mind that you want to wear some bug spray if you have any, because, you know, there's a lot of mosquitoes and stuff like that, and then there's also ticks too. Because, you know, when we left, we had some ticks. But you can also see in this picture the view that goes straight over to Fort Washington. If you have not watched that video, go ahead and watch that after this one, because there's a lot of really cool stuff there as well. You can go over to Fort Washington and you can see some cannons. You can see some underground rooms that had cannons set up in it, some prison cells, and a few other things as far as living quarters, and you can go up on the rooftop of the building there. So it's definitely a cool experience, and I've really enjoyed Fort Washington. Piscataway is just across, and it's great for hiking and walking around and stuff like that. Fort Washington, if I had to compare the two, Fort Washington had more to do, and there was some hiking trails there as well that took you around and you got to see some ruins. So definitely check that video out. I'll leave that in the same playlist as well, and I'll try to remember to link it below. But here you'll see marshlands, which is definitely different, very unique, and you can make a day out of it. You can pack a lunch and have a picnic here. You can go fishing here. I do believe that you can kayak on this area, but I'm not sure how you would enter it. But I do know that I did read some stuff up that says Fort Washington had some kayaks, and I think that possibly you could rent them from there. Not sure exactly where you would get them, but you can definitely research that. But I will let you continue watching this video. I'll only, interrupt the video as it's playing if I see something that I think you should know about. But in the meantime, leave a question, suggestion, or comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified of the next video, as I'm always on adventures. My husband and I love to go out for day trips wherever we can and explore places that we have never been. And as I always say, get out today, enjoy your adventure. Take that moment, take that minute, take that hour, take that day, anything you can get, because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. And enjoy everything that God has left us, and enjoy everything that our ancestors had built for us. Oh my goodness, look at this house. It's literally has wood siding. When we walk in, this room here looks like it may have been like the living room or something at one time. There's a fireplace there. But then again, there could have been a fireplace in every room because they didn't have any other sources of heat back then. This bed has rope holding the bottom of it together. I'm not sure what year that was made, but it's definitely not modernized. I'm not sure it's entirely as old as this house either, but as I walk into this room, it looks like it was kind of set up on display as well. But the walls have no insulation. Can you imagine living here in Maryland in the wintertime in a house that doesn't have insulation and only has two fireplaces? I just feel like that just would not be warm and comfortable. But I'm sure they managed to do it because that's all they had. Now, I don't know what this little area is. I don't know if it was a back porch, an addition at one time, or what exactly it was, because it definitely is not new. All right, so here's a few pictures. Just take a look at them as we're walking through, and you can see the rope right there on the bed, right at the very bottom. And then as I go closer into this image, you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer, but I'm not sure where that door is that has the barrel in front of it goes. I didn't open it. However, I did open the door that went up the steps, and not entirely sure if I was allowed to go up there. There was no signs that said I couldn't go up there. So I did kind of look up there, but I don't recommend that you go up there because it was very sketchy walking up there, and I'll show you that in a minute. And the flooring, I didn't even walk all the way on the flooring because I was kind of wary about if I was going to fall through it or not. So definitely enjoy the pictures of that, but I wouldn't recommend that you go up there. And I'm going to show you a few more and then we'll take a look. So
The plaster in this wall, it's so crazy because I can remember seeing this in old houses when I grew up. This is how they used to hold the wall together with that plaster, which I think is kind of interesting because we definitely don't do that now. Now, this is under the stairs. I guess this was originally like a little cubby or whatever. But walking up the stairs was a little bit sketchy, and I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to do it because the door was shut and it wasn't locked. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I can go up here. And I decided to try it and see what it was about. However, when I got upstairs and I looked around, I was like, this is a little too fallen apart for me to actually kind of explore. So I only took a few steps in just to get it on the camera so you could see it. But as you can see, the floor is definitely old and aged as much as the rest of the building is. Now, over here, it's an old antique cradle and some chairs. Whether or not that's how they're supposed to be, I don't really know. But it definitely looks very aged in that cradle anyway. But here's like a little table. I'm assuming this was originally going to be like bedrooms for the family, and this is extra space that they slept in. I mean, if you ever watched Little House on the Prairie, those houses back then were really, really tiny. So people lived in houses that were a lot smaller than they do currently in today's world. Today's world, we have houses that are pretty big. And like, they're not put together like this. I mean, if you look at this siding, it's literally planks of wood that you can see through. And even if it was put together and milled properly to where each piece was like a tongue and groove, it still would have taken a lot of time and effort to do it. And obviously, the way they did it lasts because it's been here for a long time. It just has seen better days. Now, I'm going to continue to show you a little bit more here. So, like, this is me looking through the camera at this shed. This shed currently looks like it's being used to house their rakes and stuff like that. However, it is pretty much ready to fall down, in my opinion, because it's literally falling apart at the seams. If you look here, look at this. I mean, it's like they tried to nail it together, and there it is. I don't know how old this is. I don't even know if it was built back in the original time or not, but it's definitely seen much better days. And it kind of reminds you of a pallet house, but or a pallet shed. But that's what it is, and that's what it looks like on the inside. Now over here, we're going to go in this little tiny log cabin, and we're not going to actually be able to go in because the door is locked, but we're going to go and look through the window that is open right here. When I peep my head in here with the camera, you can see that there originally was a fireplace in here, and I'm thinking that table is newer, but this was probably somebody's home at one point, and it's got the plaster in between the logs to help hold it up, and that originally was a fireplace that was outside. That's probably what kept it warm in a winter, and the plaster probably held up and kept the heat and cold in. But could you imagine living in something that tiny? Here, people today are building tiny houses that are 3 times and 4 times the size of that. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And this is all at Piscataway Park. This is the area where the visitor center is, not where the boardwalk is. So look at these pictures and hopefully you'll be able to see some more and you'll like what you see. Okay, so here is the tobacco barn. I'm showing you some pictures from a distance, and then we'll walk inside and you'll be able to see it. This is a very, very aged building as well, and it looks like it's sitting on some platforms of like maybe some cinder blocks or something. I don't know if this is the original location this was at. I can't imagine that they moved it, but if you look at the building on the inside, they have the tobacco hanging and stuff like that. But then if you look up, there's lots and lots of rafters and everything. So apparently they hung a lot of stuff in here to dry it out. And it's definitely made different than what I've seen today. And Kinder Farm Park also has a tobacco barn. It's a little similar to this, but it definitely has like a little bit more detail to it, and the flooring is slightly different. So if you have the opportunity to go to Kinder Farm, you can look at that too. I do believe I have a video of that as well. If not, let me know and I'll put it in there because I know I've taken it. Okay, so here we're walking up to the farm area, and the way that they have this area with the fence that they've created it with like pieces of wood stacked on top of each other, kind of like how you would do a log cabin. It actually holds in the animals. So you have that area there, but then you also have the more modern fence as you're coming up to the other side. Now, we didn't see a lot of animals in here, but what we did see, you'll see in this video, and I'll show you them as we go through. But take notice to the buildings in this area, and especially to the one that is on the right. This is the back half of it. When we walk around, you see the front of it, you're going to be shocked at how the roof is. Take notice to this section here, because we're going to come back to that in a minute, how it looks wavy. Okay, so this is the barn area across from that building that I just showed you. I can't go in here because this says do not enter, but I'm just going to kind of peek through like I've done everything else, and you can kind of see in here. I'm assuming this is where their animals are either kept or maybe they're sleeping in there now. I don't know. I couldn't really see them. I could tell you there wasn't a lot of animals here the day that we went. Doesn't mean that they don't exist here, but on the internet they did have some pictures of some cows and stuff like that. Here we didn't see that many, but again, I'm going to show you this, then we're going to walk back over and see that other building. Okay, so I know I'm bouncing back and forth with this building, and it's really not like so crazy, but it's just how I took the pictures and the video. Um, this is across from it. There's some turkeys and some chickens and some roosters and stuff around in this little area that you'll be able to see. But when you look at the picture from a distance at this building, I want you to look at it as we get closer in that same area of the roof. It looks like the roof wants to completely fall in, and you'll be able to see it as I get closer. See how it dips down just a little bit on that left side? Now, to me, as I get closer, it looks like this roof is about ready to just cave in, and the whole thing has shifted to the bottom left. And it had, which you can't see in this picture or this video, it had like a divot in it that was like a half moon, and it kind of looked wavy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that really looks scary to me. Hopefully they don't actually use that building for anything and it's just here because of the history. Now, as we continue through, I'll show you a few more pictures and some wildlife as we walk through. It's not a lot to see here when it comes to animals, but it's just definitely a beautiful place to go. If you want to go fishing, there's a pier here, and there's a lot of different things to explore. And if you go further down at the other exit, you can go to the boardwalk where you can see tons of butterflies at the right time of the year, dragonflies, birds. You may even see a bald eagle, osprey, um, all kinds of stuff. Now, this guy, he was just flying away and sitting there until I came by, or he was sitting there until I came by, and then he flew away. All right, so now I'm just going to continue showing you some more, and I'll step in and say something when I see something that you might need to know something about. All right, well, we're walking down this path, and as we're walking, I'm looking up because I hear birds and I want to see birds flying around and stuff like that. And look what I spot in the tree. It's a giant nest of bees. I believe they're hornets or wasps. I don't even know, but they definitely look like they've made a home there, and I don't want to mess with them. So, um, be careful when you're out and about anywhere you go that has trees and stuff like that, because this is the second nest I've seen that's in trees. And it was pretty cool, even though I didn't want to go near it. And I don't suggest you go near it, but definitely interesting. Now, here's some butterflies and stuff. They were absolutely beautiful. I actually got a lot more video and photos of these that I'll be posting in a separate video because I took them with my SLR, not my cell phone. All right, guys, so here is the boardwalk. Now, I want you to look at this water area, okay? Now, this leads out into the river, but the day that we came, the tide was out. There's hardly any water in here. We saw some snakes hiding in here, and I'm sure there's frogs and turtles too, but we didn't see them. They say there's beavers. I don't know. I didn't see any. Maybe they're somewhere else. But there's hardly any water here, right? So I wouldn't think that you could fish here. Now, this day there was a guy with his kids, and they were coming in and getting ready to fish, and then it started raining, so we left. So I don't know if they caught anything. However, my husband and I went back, and when we went back, the tide was completely in, and this was filled so deep with water that it was almost at the top of the pier bottom. Now, At that time, there were people fishing and they were catching bass out of this water. It's pretty interesting because I wouldn't have expected anyone to catch anything right here off of this pier because to me it just looks like marshlands, right? Well, apparently the fish come in when the river comes in. Now, if you go here and the tide is out, I wouldn't recommend that you trying to climb down there and get on any of that because it gets kind of iffy. Now, walk the pier, enjoy it. There's no bathrooms at this part that I know of. However, if you go where the visitor center is, it's the next right up. There are bathrooms there. And when you're looking at this and you're, just kind of like chilling out or whatever, you'll be able to see some butterflies and some birds and lots of osprey and dragonflies and stuff like that. If you can see off in the distance there to the middle of the screen, there is a bird. And, he's really, really pretty. I don't know what kind he is, but I mean, I thought he was pretty with a little bit of orange in him. Then we've seen some cardinals and stuff as well. So, definitely, if you're looking for a peaceful exploration kind of day, this would be it. I mean, we enjoyed it so much that we went back again, and we were going to go another time in the same weekend, but then we were like, do we really want to drive an hour and a half up when we have to get up and go to work tomorrow? So we opted not to do it. However, we will be going back again and again and again, I'm sure, because it was so pretty. And it was a great place to kind of use your, camera if you have an SLR and to take some pictures and stuff. And I got some amazing pictures, and so did my husband with our SLRs. And I will try to post those in other videos. This one was just taken with my cell phone, so the quality isn't quite as nice as the SLR video and the SLR pictures. But take your day and pack a lunch, enjoy it. I mean, it's really nice to look at and very peaceful, absolutely peaceful. All right. Well, I'm going to let you continue and looking through this. Don't forget to leave a question, suggestion, or comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified. And I will see you in the next adventure. Have a blessed day.